When you hear best defense in EuroLeague, Zalgiris Kaunas demands your attention. But what happened when they faced the defending champions and one of the league's best offenses? A game where their defensive masterclass met Nunn's scoring prowess, while Walker reminded everyone why he's making waves in his EuroLeague debut season. Let's break down how these two teams matched up and what made this clash so special. Let's look at some telling numbers. Zalgiris came in as a story of extremes. League's best defense, but second worst offense. Their three-point shooting was particularly concerning. Just 31.3% overall and 33.1% at home. But against Panathinaikos, they flipped the script, finishing at 40.6% from deep. The first half was especially dramatic. Zalgiris hit 10 of 21 threes, 47.6%. Putting up 52 points against the defending champs. The tale of two halves tells an even more interesting story. After that hot first half, Zalgiris cooled to just 3 of 11, 27.3%, from deep after the break. This highlights a recurring issue for Panathinaikos, starting games too relaxed defensively, then trying to mount comebacks. It's a dangerous pattern that doesn't always end well, especially on the road. Let's break down how Zalgiris managed this three-point explosion in the first half. Was it just supernatural shooting, or was there more to the story? Let's analyze their looks and see what Panathinaikos' defense gave them. The numbers tell the story. Only two teams in EuroLeague are worse than the Greens at defending off-screen actions, allowing 1.23 per possession. But what Zalgiris did was extraordinary, scoring nearly 1.86 per possession in these situations, dramatically better than Panathinaikos' already poor defense against off-screen situations. Zalgiris runs a pitchback action leading into a flare screen for Brady Manek. Nunn crashes into Juancho. Lesor has to switch onto Manek, but despite getting the open look, Manek can't convert. Here's another off-screen action, this time for Servidis. Coming off the screens, he gets the space he needs as Nunn trails behind and knocks down the open shot from the top of the key. He's shooting 6 of 8 from this spot this season. After timeout, Trinchieri draws up a play for Servidis. The Lithuanian shows the fake, uses Dunstan's screen, and knocks down the shot. Here's a common action Zalgiris runs, initiating with a pick and roll, then flowing into a flare or lock screen on the weak side for Lonnie Walker. Two different outcomes from the same setup. First time, Lesort makes the rotation and Walker attacks the closeout. Next time through, Walker's left open and knocks down the three. Watch Servidis here. Comes off the screen and attacks Lesort's body perfectly. By initiating the contact, he leaves Lesort no room to block the shot and finishes the play. Another weakness Zalgiris exploited. Panathinaikos' transition defense has been struggling this season, ranking in the bottom quarter of EuroLeague. Zalgiris took advantage both in direct fast breaks and early offense situations, catching the Greens before they could set their defense. Let's look at Yurtseven's impact, particularly that dominant second quarter where he scored 14 of Panathinaikos' 24 points, nearly 60% of their entire quarter output. His efficiency was remarkable, 7 of 8 from the field, while grabbing half of all available offensive rebounds and being involved in 45% of team plays. His complete stat line in just 16 minutes tells the whole story. 16 points scored, 5 more created through assists, with 2 assists against 2 turnovers. On the glass, he grabbed a quarter of all available rebounds, though there was a clear split, securing 50% of offensive rebounds but just 12% on the defensive end. Let's shift our focus to Nunn and Walker, both with NBA pedigree, with Nunn already established as one of EuroLeague's elite since last season, while Walker's making an instant impact in his debut year. Looking at their performances tonight, Walker put up 24 points in 24 minutes on incredibly efficient shooting, 5 of 7 from 2, 4 of 6 from 3, posting an 81.3% true shooting percentage and 84.6% effective field goal percentage. Meanwhile, Nunn showed his all-around game, creating 31 points, 19 scored, 12 assisted in 27 minutes with a 73.8% true shooting percentage. His 35.7% assist percentage and 29.6% usage rate show how much of Panathinaikos' offense ran through him. Let's break down some plays to see how these two approach the game. Watch this opening possession. Zalgiris runs a pick and pop with Walker and Monik. The Greens' defense looks confused. Grant switches onto Monik while Juancho shows a hedge. Walker immediately spots the gap, splits the defense, and throws down a statement dunk.
Oh, splits the double team. Oh my goodness! Lonnie Walker!
Here's Walker forced left, but even that doesn't work. He still gets to the rim and scores. Throughout the game, he showed his complete offensive arsenal, attacking closeouts, knocking down catch-and-shoot threes, creating in isolation, and turning defense into offense in transition. Walker basically put his entire skill set on display. If you've probably noticed Trinchieri's tactical adjustment here, using guard-to-guard screens to force switches, trying to get Grant off Walker and create more favorable matchups. Smart coaching move, understanding they needed to get their hot hand away from Panathinaikos' best perimeter defender. Nunn's game started rough, picking up 3 fouls in the first quarter, and once again letting his frustration with the officials show, drawing another technical. This has become a pattern, roughly his 5th straight game with a technical foul. It's an area where Nunn needs to improve, staying composed regardless of the calls and keeping his focus on the game rather than the officials. With Zalgiris taking away middle penetration, Nunn had to adjust his game. While he couldn't find many driving lanes, he stayed effective from beyond the arc, hitting 5 of 10 three-pointers and managed to create for others with 5 assists when the defense collapsed. Notice the detail in this hedge-out coverage. Servidis doesn't immediately chase his man after the ball screen alongside the big. Instead, he stays a bit lower, taking away the passing lane to the roller. Once the big man starts his recovery, Servidis returns to his man with high hands, completing the defensive sequence. Here's another example of hedge coverage, but this time it backfires. Mitchell stays lower to cut off the passing lane to the roller, but in doing so, leaves too much space for Nunn to operate. Against a scorer like Nunn, that small gap is all he needs to get his shot off. Watch this defensive possession unfold. Zalgiris shows hedge out with high hands, forcing Brown to reset through Nunn. As the clock winds down, they switch, with Walker closing out to stop Nunn's drive. Nunn kicks it to Juancho, but the possession ends with Brown forced into a tough corner shot. Looking at these clips, you can see what makes Zalgiris' hedge defense so effective. They consistently cut off passing lanes during the hedge out, making it difficult for offenses to find quick solutions. Add their physical presence to the mix, and you see why teams struggle to find immediate answers against this defensive scheme.